Hello guys, and welcome back to a new video. So back with another trade recap and NQ market review video. I'm going to explain to you the trades that I took, all based on the same strategy that I shared here in my channel, which is this one right here. As you can see, pretty simple. This is the foundation of all the trades that I took, and you need also to understand the price action, so not just trading this pattern right here. And we're going to help you with that today, on how you can read price and apply this strategy right here to get the best results and eventually finding your one kick and reaching consistency. So these are the trades that I took. So the first trade was a loss, a partial loss, so not the full loss. I took like 70% of the loss instead of 100%. And the second trade was a winner. The third trade was also a winner, and I put more size into it. So let me get a better picture. So a short from here, loss, a short from here, winner, and another long was a winner. So let's start now with the trades breakout. So always start with the higher time frame. Use if you are trading the 1 minute. So all the trades that I took here was based on the 1 minute, so we're not going to use the 5 second here today. I found really clean setups on the 1 minute, so I don't need to go lower. So always give yourself some time to analyze the higher time frame before you jump into the lower time frame, guys. I always give myself a timer of 3 minutes. I need to spend 3 minutes on the higher time frame to understand what's going on before I jump into the lower time frames to look for entries, right? So let's start from the 1 hour time frame. I like to see what's going on with the 1 hour, right? So as you can see, this is a zone that price that we drew from the last video. Price reacted from it, rejected to the downside, right? So price was trading like this, putting this low and then trading higher into it, swept some highs right here and then rejected to the downside. But as you can see here, we didn't have the break of structure. So if we move this one, we didn't have a break of structure right here. We have only a sweep on liquidity. Price couldn't close above or below this low right here. So this is significant. So if we go back to this picture right here, as you can see, the failure to close below a particular low, it could indicate that price will reverse, right? Especially if it happens on a zone. So as you can see here, price traded to the downside and it failed to take this low, and we are inside the zone from here to here, right? So we are between two zones. Now, this one right here, it means two things. Price will either trade higher, maybe to mitigate some zones right here and then continue lower, or it will trade higher and it will completely reverse. Either way, this right here indicates that we are rejecting and we might see a potential move to the upside. So I don't like to predict 3 or 4 moves in advance. All I need is this leg right here, whether price is going to expand higher or lower, right? So that tells me that shorts are just temporary, right? Just pullbacks. And if you want to put more size into your trades, put them in the longs, on the longs, right? So this is the higher time frame. And I want you to notice this. Price swept this low. This low was just above the 70% of the zone. So it swept it and then traded higher. We're going to use this later. So let's remove this. And let's go now to the 5 minute with the first trade. So I opened the chart at 8:30, around 8:30 or so, right? And I can see from here that price rejected from this fractal right here, from this low to this high on the 5 minute time frame, right? Before it rejected from it, we have liquidation of this high right here. We have this liquidation of this high and then immediately traded to the downside, right? So if we go back to the picture, liquidate and swept this low and close back inside the range. And this is also visible on the 1 minute time frame. So this looks better. That 5 minute fractal is actually a 1 minute zone. So we swept the high right here, as you can see, and then we immediately traded to the downside. So now we have this zone right here. Below the zone, we had some smooth edges right here, as you can see. We have this high, this high, this high. These are smooth edges right here, right? So my trade idea was taking a short position from here, my stop loss here, and then I was targeting like a 1-to-1. My target in mind was these lows right here, and then this zone. So in my mind, I wanted to see price liquidate these lows right here, tap into this, and then trade higher, right? But this didn't happen right here, and this was the first loss. It was a decent setup, but it didn't happen, right? That's all right. But if you notice right here, as you can see, this high right here, it came closer to the 50%, but it didn't tap into it, right? So came closer to the 50%, but didn't tap into it. So this is from my backtesting, from my own experience, and from my examples that I have collected. Price tends to generate highs and lows near important levels, and then those highs and lows will be liquidated later on. So we've seen that on the 1 hour from that low, just about the 70% of the zone. And we also have this high right here, just below the 50% of this zone right here. So I was still looking for a short position from here. So price now traded to here. We swept the high, but we didn't really have the close back inside the range, as you can see. So here we have body closure. But if we zoom in right here, if we follow the candles itself, we can see that this candle swept the high right here and closed back inside the range. And what happened next is that we have the CSS confirmation. So we want to see a sweep, right? And then the CSS confirmation, meaning closing above the candle that caused the sweep. So now this will become a CSS right here. So this was my second trade from here. Stop loss here. So as you can see, we are focusing only on candles, structure, market structure only. And my target was here. Now, what was my target? What was my target? Well, we know that we are only looking for pullbacks when we are taking shorts, right? We are not looking for expansions that is based on the 1 hour time frame. If we drew this zone from here to here, what do you see? What do you notice? You can see that this low right here, price generated this low just above the 50%. Now we have this high just below the 50%, price liquidated and then traded lower. Now we have this low just above the 50%. So this is my target. This is the first top, and I was looking for the second top. I was looking for price to trade lower, to liquidate this low into this zone right here. So this was my target. And this was also a potential long position, right? So what you want to do is you want to study price when it arrives at a certain zone. You don't want to take limit order until 50% because price can easily trade lower one more time, maybe liquidating this low, these lows right here, this, and then trade higher. So you don't want to put the limit orders. You want to study price around the zones. What happens is that we swept this low right here, right? And we have that CSS confirmation that we want. So let's go back to the picture, the zone, the first top, the second top, sweep it, close back inside the range, and then the CSS confirmation right here happened. So as you can see, exactly first stop, sweep it, and then the CSS confirmation. So this was my second trade. I took it from the 30% of the CSS. And you might be afraid of seeing this big candle right here. Maybe you don't want to take the trade. And also you might see the trade that the setup, your model already generated the setup just a few minutes ago, and you don't trust it. You don't now have the confidence to take it. Maybe you take that you are pushing it, but whenever you see setup, whenever you see your model, you take that trade, because sometimes your model will not print a setup for the whole AM session or for the whole day. Sometimes it will print 3 setups in a matter of half an hour. So whenever you see a setup, take it. All right. So this happens just 5 minutes after I close this setup right here, this beautiful setup. So here I know that I am with the higher time frame. I know that this could potentially be an expansion to the upside, since we are bullish on the 1 hour. Right, so we are using the setup for both entries and for bias, right? So I took my entry from here and I targeted the 1-to-1, but I put more size into this trade. It was like double, I believe, almost double the size. And as you can see, price traded to the upside, expansion to the upside, right? So one more time, here's the trade. This is the first loss. This is the second trade, right? Entering from here. It was a bit of an early entry here. And this is the second trade. Entered from this CSS right here and close it here. So I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions, DM me on my Twitter account or leave a comment down below and I will answer you as soon as I can. Now, happy trading and good luck.